Hi everyone, my name is Risha. Today is the 1st of September 2024. I'll be going over my weekly prediction for Nvidia. As usual, I'll be going over the monthly, weekly, and finally the daily charts, and then I'll switch over to the Excel sheet where we'll review last week's prediction and go over this one in more detail. But before getting into this video, it is important to make the disclaimer that all information here is completely educational, and therefore it is important to conduct your own analysis, whatever analysis that may be, to ensure that you're comfortable with the risk, reward, and trading style, since you may not be with mine. And as such, it is important to make note that this video is not a trading guide, not an investing guide of any sort. It is simply a log of my predictions with their rationales. And without further ado, now let's get into this video. Monthly charts, we can see that as the this is the second consecutive month where we've had a high wave candle for Nvidia as the monthly candle. Although it is higher in volume, which makes it all the more significant, we can clearly see that there's a huge confusion in Nvidia, as its high was near the high at 134 and its low was actually at the low of 90.47, and it is very, very widespread, and this is clearly an indication of confusion. And although we are in still an overarching uptrend confirmed by the RSI and ADX, this is kind of a warning signal, since the volume is diverging from price. So that is something to keep mind of. That is also an important indicator. Furthermore, doji candles are even more significant at market tops and also high wave candles, since they indicate market confusion, a slowdown of the current trend. And unless there are some serious fundamental prospects driving the company, it is going to be very difficult to sustain this uptrend for Nvidia. And that's what I get from the monthly charts. Now, if you move to weekly charts, I've labeled some of the patterns that have happened recently. So this was the bullish counterattack that happened, and we took a bullish trade and made a lot of money this week. This week, however, we can see a bearish engulfing pattern, and I'll make that just even clearer so it's centered at the right place. A bearish engulfing pattern, and it looks very slight, but if you actually compare the open, high, low, close of both candles, you would see that this does count as a bearish engulfing. So this means that we have a very bearish price move. We had a very bearish price movement this week, which is kind of odd considering that Nvidia's earnings were actually really, really good. I mean, there was around a 5% surprise for EPS and a 4.5% surprise for earnings, which in itself is a fantastic result. But because Wall Street and investors have had super, even unrealistic expectations for the company, it actually backfired, and the stock crashed on the day and the day after earnings. And that's why we have this bearish engulfing pattern. So it is important to be aware that the reason that this happened is largely because of earnings. Although you can debate whether it's right or wrong, we do have to be mindful, and we will keep this like 114 is the sell entry for this week, since I don't want it to be so close to the support. A little bit below, just to show some confirmation, and this is obviously still the buy entry. And volume, we can see, was higher this week, but overarchingly is still diverging from price. This RSI is actually going down, showing a downward movement. However, we can see that price action is actually it's at the same price level right now, but it's still technically diverging from RSI. So that is something to keep in mind of. ADX is actually still higher than both DI plus and DI minus, which DI plus is higher, so that's positive. However, the ADX is going down. Although higher, it is still going down, and that means we are losing steam in the trend. Finally, let's move to the daily charts. Here we can see that we had this sideways movement for the last 7 days of the market, and then the earnings came out this day here, a lot of volume here. The next day it went down, and the next day we had a Harami star, I guess you could say, a doji star type of pattern. Which is, again, we do need a lot of confirmation code going either way, and that's why I have the support and resistance set as such. That's all for this video. I mean, that's what we get from the daily charts. RSI is still showing we're going upwards. ADX is going downwards. Very, very discouraging in terms of trend. And now let's move here. Again, this is just solidifying it. We'll buy when it crosses the resistance at 134.33. And actually, I probably should change this, because this is a Harami star or doji star candlestick. We should actually have the high at around 125. and this actually still gives us some room for price movement. We'll buy when it crosses the resistance at 125, sell when it falls below 114.5, target of 2%, trailing stop loss of 1%. If neither are hit, then we will just close on Friday. Weekly trend is sideways, monthly trend is up. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, enjoy, and I will see you next time.